It is Wednesday, May 16th, 2018. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so you know what time it is. It's time for a little bit of coin metal. And we did not get our asses kicked at Jiu-Jitsu today, although, I don't know, I guess maybe during the flow rolling session we could consider that to be getting our asses kicked at Jiu-Jitsu. But, you know, it's not one of those things where I was actually getting my ass kicked, just getting in the position to get my ass kicked. Although, I had a good time at it, but I've decided that, for the moment, I'm not even going to be doing any positional sparring or sparring or rolling. I mean, I probably shouldn't have even flow rolled today. But, I need to take, probably 2 weeks where all I'm going to be doing is the running warming up, the across the mat drills, if there's any stretching or any kind of solo drills, I'll do those and stuff, but I really gotta lay off the pressure that I've been putting on my arm and my shoulder and concentrate more on rehabilitating my arm. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I did today. You know, is I did the warm-up run, I did the across the mat drills, I did a little bit of flow rolling, and I did feed for somebody. And that is the other exemption that I'll do, as long as it's not something on the arm. You know, if it's you know, some sort of arm throw, or if it's going for the arm in arm bar or some shit like that, no, I'm not going to do it. I mean, because even trying to keep from injuring it, you end up injuring it more. You know, you're trying to shield it or whatever, and you end up injuring it more. So, it's kind of a I don't know how to put it. There's a term I want to quicksand. You know, it's like you want to do it, but you want to get through it, but you can't because you just get sucked further in. And the more effort you put to it, the more you get sucked into it. And so, like I said, that's basically what I did today, was because they were doing we were doing a triangle escape, like early triangle escape, right? Where they just get the leg up over your shoulder, and they're trying to pull you in and grab the ankle over your other shoulder. And so yeah, you know, I fed for that, but that was only because there was one gentleman in class who was needing additional attention, and so yeah, the instructor fed for him, and then there was one guy that was asked out because of that, so I fed for him, and that's cool. You know, it's like I said, it wasn't something where my shoulder or my bicep or my elbow was involved at all, so I was cool with doing that, you know. Got to contribute where you can, but still got to protect yourself. You know, you only got one body in this life, and as quick as science is catching up with us, all that shit's still really expensive, and I don't have that kind of money. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw down into some music, and I've been dying to play this because I haven't played it in a long time, and I did get some additional body count too, but I feel it's time for it. The Ski Mask Way. First Dance, here on Coin Metal. And that was Static X with Push It. Man, I love that song. It's such a shame that we don't have Wayne Static anymore. One of the, I guess, earlier victims of the whole fentanyl thing. Seems like fentanyl's got a lot of people. I don't know what that says about fentanyl or our use of it. But you got to think that there's something about the habit of using fentanyl that kind of makes you want to use too much. Maybe? I don't know. I have that same problem with caffeine. It's like I either have to have all or none. It's not an in-between thing. I don't know. Anyway, I got this article here on Inside Bitcoins, and I'm just going to preface it by saying, not I told you so, but I kind of expected something like this would happen. South Korea has been vacillating between wanting to strangle down on cryptocurrencies, or at least that's the impression that we're given here in the West, or at least the impression given by the authors of the articles that write these articles. Either way, I couldn't tell you. I'm just judging from my perspective. It seems like they're like schizophrenic about this, where they don't know if they want to stomp it out of existence or if they want to like invest in it wholeheartedly, And I think the problem is that the people are all about it. They love crypto, including the regulators. And invariably, there are some that don't understand this, and I believe they're in the legislative bodies, really. Because they're looking at it and they're saying, oh my God, look at all the taxes that we're not getting. Look at all this economic activity that we're not getting a cut of, and we need a cut of that because, we exist and, we're drawing breath, and so we need a cut of that. Now, this is saying this kind of thing when they don't really understand the way that this shit works and the new dynamic that our being able to create our own cryptocurrencies really brings to the table. It gives us a new way to speak about the way that we transact. That we could be saying to the market, I don't necessarily like Visa. When there are options like Verge or Litecoin or Monero or a dozen other cryptocurrencies that are live, 1,500 that are live, but that are just as easy to use, if not easier to use, than Bitcoin or Visa. Why am I going to stick with one of those? Why shouldn't I, as an individual thinking about my own interests in this world, why shouldn't I be free to use these tools to my benefit? And it's not like we're asking for a power that's not been had. Well, to some extent, it's never been had before on this level. But I keep coming back to it on my own, thinking about it, that this is just the latest iteration of a expression of the market that occurs every time that there is such a way to transact between one another without having to have an equivalent exchange of items, so anything above barter, so when we came up with the concept of using silver and gold as mediums of exchange, that's when this whole thing really started. It's because the gold and the silver actually were valuable to us. Not that they aren't now, but they're a little bit more clumsy to deal with, considering the type of commerce that we're capable of. It's really, you can't do an Amazon if you're transacting in silver and gold. Maybe if you were exchanging ownership of silver and gold, that'd be a different story. But at that point, you're at an abstraction level where you do not know how many parties the same volume of gold or silver are promised to. And this is that problem that we're still facing with regard to getting certain countries their gold back. I guess it was like probably 5 or 6 years ago when Germany asked for all of their gold from us. They wanted to repatriate their gold, and when they asked for it, they were told, Yeah, sure, we can get it to you in 9 years. And so what's this tell you? It tells me that whatever gold there is in Fort Knox, it's promised to 8 billion different fucking parties, and we're probably out there either killing or trying to do business to get the gold to be able to pay back Germany or pay them their gold, give them their gold. You know, it's got to kill all the additional hands that are trying to grab at it. But it's because the same volume of gold has been promised away 8 billion times, you know. And I think about Lightning networks, and I think about the volume that's going to be held in these payment channels and the people that will be initiating the transactions. And I keep thinking about it in terms of a bank is going to do the first transaction for like $10 million worth of Bitcoin, and they'll be able to re-up it along the way, right? And they'll just never close the payment channel. They'll just keep re-upping it, and between the appreciation and value of the Bitcoin, because of how much transactive activity is actually happening with it, and so on, they'll never have to close the payment channel. It'll just keep appreciating in dollar value, and they'll still have the same volume tied up in that payment channel. It won't necessarily be valuated at the same rate when they cash it out. And you know, so the idea of Lightning Network payment channel nodes being, you know, some Raspberry Pi that some kid in Afghanistan is using, no. It's going to be an ATM at his local, like, Bank of America or Bank of Afghanistan or whatever the fuck. And that's where he's going to do his Lightning Network payment channel payment bullshit. I'm not terribly impressed with the idea of it, honestly, because to me it's a step right back to a trust model, a custodial model that we got into Bitcoin to get away from. We got into Bitcoin to get away from that model, and it's a step right back to it. So, I mean, what's the point of using Bitcoin if it's no different than using a Visa card? You really got to think about it. But anyway, back to where I was going with this South Korea business. I really think that there's like some of their ruling party or their parties, their political parties, that they look at all the transactive activity that's going on, and they're saying, you know, we're not getting a cut of any of this shit. What the fuck? And at the same time, you know, the president or the president's kid or the president's nephew or the president's cousin or whatever is heavily invested in cryptocurrencies. And so, you know, every time these guys start talking about policy changes, the president or whoever talks to his uncle or nephew or whoever, his daughter, and says, hey, what the hell's going on with this Bitcoin thing? Oh, you don't want to touch it because we are definitely going to be able to fund your entire re-election campaign with what we're making on cryptocurrencies right now. So if you could just like get off our back with that, that'd be really great, especially for you. You know, so you might want to take that one back to the people that are telling you to get up our ass. But, you know, this could be completely blown out, and there's actually nothing going on in South Korea with regard to regulation of cryptocurrencies, and this is just a bunch of fluff that we here in the United States make out of some blithe comment that was just made off the cuff or whatever, and it's completely misconstrued or misinterpreted or whatever. Anyway, here it is. This is South Korea will focus positive aspects of cryptocurrency, soften policy. And this is by Sembaraj Das, authored May 16th, 2018. Oh, wait. This is referred to from another website. And if we can actually find the fucking article. God damn it, Jim. I hate it when sites do that. They aggregated it, and let's see here. There we go. All right. The article is actually on CCN, and let's see. Let's see if they show us the author. Follow on Telegram. No. Damn it, Jim. Anyway, let's read this business. South Korean regulators and officials are likely to relax their approach to regulating cryptocurrencies, starting with classifying them as financial assets. There is a July deadline looming for G20 nations after policymakers called for recommendations for regulating cryptocurrencies seen as, quote, financial assets by the economic leaders from the world's 20 largest economies. South Korea's regulators, however, have previously classified cryptocurrencies as non-financial assets due to their speculative nature, and I happen to agree with that perspective, by the way. It is becoming increasingly apparent that Korea is likely to shift its stance with a friendlier policy as the country's financial watchdog promises to, quote, improve things on the regulatory front. As reported by the Korea Times, which we're going to right-click on, the Financial Supervisory Service, FSS, Korea's financial watchdog, acknowledged the G20's unified stance meant that Korea would have to change its policy, stating, quote, it's almost certain that cryptocurrencies will be classified as assets, and the main issue will be centered on how to regulate them properly under the unified frame that will be agreed upon between G20 nations, given the current stance in Korea. This isn't good, but we will step up efforts to improve things. The statement falls in line with recent remarks from Yuk Suk Hyun, the new governor of the FSS, who said an internal study on cryptocurrencies identified positive aspects that could lead to relaxed regulations in the future. Fuck you. Regarding cryptocurrencies, there are some positive aspects, FSS Chief Yoon said during his ceremonial swear-in last week. Notably, the FSS was the same authority to carry out a ban order that completely curtailed initial coin offerings in the country in September of 2017. These positive developments for the cryptocurrency space come at a time within weeks of a legislative effort by Korean lawmakers who are drafting a bill to legalize the launch of new cryptocurrencies and ICOs in the country. Okay. Where to begin? Number one, the G20 nor the governments thereof are really any authority to dictate anything about cryptocurrencies. They're not. Now, whether or not you assume they do is a whole different story. But they don't create cryptocurrencies, and even if they do, those cryptocurrencies compete against cryptocurrencies that are made by 14 and 15-year-olds. This is a reality. This is the new reality that you are living in right now. There is some kid right now who says, you know, I really like Dogecoin. I like the way it's built. I dig it. But I don't like this capless thing. I think if we put a cap at like 160 billion of these things, it'll be perfect. You know, whatever volatility it does experience will be so minimal versus the lowest unit of account of my my local fiat currency that I really won't notice any kind of, bump in price unless, it goes through like a significant valuation alteration, goes up in value, goes Lambo on me. But just the same, I'm not banking on that. I'm banking on this being used as some sort of micropayment to macro payments, but mostly micropayments, and be a low volatility micropayment unit. But the point being is, it's happening right now. And regardless of what anybody in the G20 says, regardless what anybody in the FSS says, or the G20 says, that's going to happen. And the wallet app is going to show up on the Google Play Store, and probably eventually the iTunes Store, or the iMac or iApple. I don't know. I don't own an Apple device. I haven't owned an Apple device for a long time. But the point being that this shit's just going to happen. So the idea that any one of these entities is going to be able to point at shit and say, you can't do that, fucking break. Not only are they not going to be able to say that at any point to us, but they themselves are going to be engaging in these activities. If not they themselves directly, they themselves as in their nephew, their daughter, their son, their wife, their husband. It's going to happen. It's happening right now. And shit. Think about it this way. When these people that are doing this kind of stuff start ending up in legislative bodies, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to divest themselves of all of their crypto holdings just so they're not under additional fucking regulatory pressure? Hell no. And when people are telling them to lobby against their own interests and petition against their own interests, they're going to tell them to fuck off. Because the reality is, these are probably the most accountable currencies that have ever been known by man. So if they do get serious about regulating something, invariably, these people will be caught up in the dragnets. Now, whether or not they're given any leniency for rolling on compatriots or something like that, I don't know. But I think by now that enough of the bigger people out there, the big institutionals as they keep being referred to, have gotten a taste of the raw profit and said, this tastes pretty good. I really like the flavor here. Why am I going to petition to have this taken away from myself? Because invariably, petitioning to have it taken away from others is going to end up getting it taken away from you too. That's it. That's all there is to it. Now, rather than have to endure that additional layer, why not stick with just having to compete against other coins and other coin projects? Because I'll tell you what, it's a lot less effort to be better than these other projects. There are plenty of other projects that are just, they could be blown away, blown clean out of whatever niche they're in, by somebody who's that much more serious about producing a quality network that is easy for people to onboard into. As everything, as miners, as API developers, as UX developers, as blockchain developers, whatever. The easier it is to onboard people in, the easier it is for them to participate, the more people will participate. I can't make it any plainer than that. And as it does become easier to participate, more and more of these people that are supposedly going to be regulating this shit, they're going to take a look at it in their investigation concerning it. They're going to take a look at this. This seems like it'd be pretty cool to try out. I think I'm going to put it on my cell phone. I'm going to put a sexy app on my fucking phone, cex.io, and I'm going to trade on it. Nobody will ever know. It's a burner phone. And they're going to enjoy that lack of KYC, CMA, whatever, fucking CYA. And they're going to say, I really like this. This tastes pretty good. You know, I think I'm going to take another nibble and another bite and another bite. Oh my goodness, I just 4x'd. And that's it. The fucking crypto bug bit your ass. And what are you going to do now? You going to keep playing? You don't really have a choice by then, because you're making so much money on the crypto side of the exchange rate between it and your fiat currency that you really have no choice. You're like, dude, this is survival now. The bottom's dropping out of my local economy. The fiat currency that's circulating in my local economy is tanking. And people are starting to use this other thing as money. Now it's survival. And this is the reality that's popped up in Venezuela, in Zimbabwe, and a few other places that have gone through significant economic turmoil. And I envision that it'll probably keep happening exactly like that, where the capital controls will get too stringent, the taxation too high, the regulatory friction too burdensome to tolerate, and the entire economy will go fucking VPN on your ass, and that'll be it. You know, how many times do we have to watch it happen? You know, this thing with South Korea talking about, you know, letting up the grips. Again, like I said, they're entrenched up to their ass in it. We are going to hear within a month, I bet you, one of these regulators or whatever, it's going to be found out that they had an account on this exchange that recently got held up by their government there, and that'll be that. You know, they'll just shut the fuck up about it, because prosecuting anybody will mean prosecuting them, and they don't want that. I mean, nobody's in a real big hurry to get themselves prosecuted, I'm sure. I know I'm not. But yeah, I think that we are going to see that, and if I can find it, here it is. This one I've been kind of watching this, and as a matter of fact, I reported on this a little bit on Monday, but I just got this one on my Twitter feed. May 15th, 2018 by William Suberg. So yes, penis. South Korea largest exchange Upbit runs internal audit, dispels fraud allegations. South Korea's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Upbit, said it has conducted an internal audit that disproves suspicions of fraud, local media reported Tuesday, May 15th. Upbit, which saw a sudden visit from financial regulators on Friday, May 11th, on suspicions officials had faked balance sheets, has yet to publish the audit data, which it claims demonstrates its coin holdings are real. Quoting the exchange's CEO, local news outlet Naver now reports Upbit's ledgers are, quote, 100% in step with their wallets. Claims that misunderstandings between government inspectors over multiple wallets caused these suspicions also appear valid, social media commenters added Tuesday. Friday's original inspection caused panic on markets and coincided with Mt. Gox trustees apparently selling a further chunk of client liquidation funds, resulting in several days of price drops. While the matter is not officially settled, responses note, Upbit's reports about the audit would appear counterproductive if made at a time when no concrete information existed at all. Quote, "We will see how the story unfolds, but I find it highly unlikely that Upbit would spin a narrative of innocence if they were under investigation where proof was easily seen through blockchain transactions," a Twitter-based Korean cryptocurrency news commentator, wrote. And this is Korean cryptocurrency and blockchain news. Agreed. We will see how the story unfolds, but I finally like it. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Through blockchain transactions. Do you know Meno PPP? Or PP? I don't know. Upbit, owned by a subsidiary of South Korean communications giant HoweyCoin, is the world's 5th largest cryptocurrency exchange by 24-hour trade volume, seeing about 910 million in trades on the day to press time. So there you have it. Could be a miscommunication. I don't know. I'm not Korean. I couldn't read the original Korean stuff, but I'm just saying that this is something where... oh, wait a minute. Oh. There's another article here that may be kind of connected. It is South Korean. We might dive into this one too before we go into any kind of music or anything. But yeah, I think it was just a miscommunication. Somebody didn't understand something, or better yet, somebody wanted to find out if somebody's political enemies were making money on cryptocurrency exchanges, and so the point of the audit was to find out the identities of people that held accounts on Upbit. I could be mistaken, but I don't know. Maybe the case. I really think that's the deal with Coinbase and the IRS, is they want to know if there's anybody who's being politically funded or funded for their political campaigns or whatever through cryptocurrencies. And so if they're seeing transfers of like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, they're like, hey, wait a minute. That could be somebody's election campaign. Maybe somebody that we don't want to get elected, you know? Like they should be able to interfere at that level, right? Anyway, let's take a quick look just to make sure this thing isn't aggregated from somewhere else, which it appears it may be. Line's press release released its blockchain affiliate Uplock. Unchained Cointelegraph reports from 16th. Oh, shit. It's Japanese. English. Haha. Okay. And so, let's see if this one is at least of this date. No, that's not the one we were trying to find. Damn it, Jim. Damn it, Jim! Well, hell. There was an article here that I was trying to find, and apparently it's Japanese. Anyway, let's go for it. Naver launches blockchain venture for decentralized apps. And if you remember, that was that's like a subsidiary involved with. Oh, here it is. This is the article from a different source. Let's just make sure it's actually a full article. Yeah, it is. Okay, and this one isn't in Japanese. And I think this is kind of connected because Upbit is kind of associated with Naver, and Line, I guess, is associated with Naver as well. Anyway, let's continue. Exclusive. 200 million users messaging giant Line partners blockchain project ICON. ICON, the $1.6 billion blockchain project created by developers from South Korea, has secured official partnership with Line, Japan's largest messaging app, that supports more than 200 million monthly active users. Line's entrance into cryptocurrency exchange market. On January 31st, CCN reported that Line is set to launch a cryptocurrency exchange within 2018 with an intent to enter the global cryptocurrency sector and to promote research and development of blockchain technology. Since then, over the past 4 months, Line has continued to explore the blockchain sector and innovative projects within it. This week, Line announced that through a joint venture called Unchain, the development team of Line will deploy various decentralized applications and its blockchain mainnet on the ICON blockchain protocol. The official press release obtained by CCN noted that Line and ICON will collaborate to develop and deploy a wide range of dApps that could be utilized by hundreds of millions of users on a daily basis. With the creation of its independent blockchain lab, the Line development team will begin exploring the potential of blockchain technology and research innovative methods of commercializing the technology in the long term. In an interview with CCN, the ICON team stated, "We believe that over time, more conglomerates and enterprises around the world will begin to see genuine use cases and efficiencies blockchain technology can bring to their business. At ICON, we've been working diligently to work with them to realize this through education, research, and collaboration. ICON could be used by 200 million active users. Line, which is the most widely utilized messaging app in Japan, has more than 200 million active monthly users on its platform that send and receive messages on a daily basis." The ICON team told CCN that the joint venture between ICON and Line could lead to hundreds of millions of users of Line potentially utilizing the ICON blockchain on a daily basis to access dApps. Quote, "At current low adoption level, this access and impact would benefit ICON and the blockchain industry in a powerful way. We believe partnerships with players like Line with such reach and scale are absolutely necessary for a wider and faster blockchain adoption. This is something we've all been waiting to see, and we are glad to be the one to make this happen," the ICON team explained. To this date, the blockchain sector is yet to see widespread adoption of blockchain technology, and several experts, including Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin, have publicly expressed concerns toward the large market valuations of blockchain projects that are not comparable to their adoption and usage. That's a valid concern. In November, as the cryptocurrency market achieved a 0.5 trillion market valuation, Buterin stated that while the blockchain sector has provided some value to major industries such as finance and technology, it has not done enough to justify its valuation. So total crypto coin market cap just hit 0.5 trillion today, but have we earned it? How many unbanked people have we banked? How much censorship-resistant commerce for the common people have we enabled? How many dApps have we created that have substantial usage? Said Buterin, adding, "The answer to all of these questions is definitely not zero, and in some cases it's quite significant, but not enough to say it's 0.5 trillion level of value, levels of significant. Not enough." Long-term partnerships and joint ventures between blockchain projects and large-scale conglomerates allow the development of blockchain platforms and applications that could potentially be adopted globally and actually utilized on a regular basis to demonstrate the potential of the blockchain. As for Line, the ICON team said that the Line development team was attracted to the interoperability benefits provided by the ICON network and the technical capabilities of the ICON team. Quote, "We believe this goes to show the quality of ICON team's technical and business capabilities. At the end of the day, it's about how comfortable you are working with your partners. Both Line and ICON have strong mutual respect for one another," said the ICON team. There you have it. A little bit of, more misleading crypto hype. That was a comment by Robert Boone. You know, there is some of that in cryptocurrencies. I think that we have a lot of people that are entering this space with expectations of instant fortune. And unfortunately, that's not here. It was never here. It's never been here. It's never going to be here. The stuff that really works, the stuff that's really worth it, came from a lot of hard work from a lot of people all over the fucking planet. So, you know, the idea that you can just whip up some project on Ethereum and launch it, and, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars are going to fly at you, and, you know, you're going to be the same as one of these projects that's been around for 3 years and is full of people that have been busting their ass. No, it's not going to happen. There are going to be some projects where they do have a vision, they do have a pathway to get there, and they get the funding, and they are successful. That will happen. But the percentage of those versus those who looked at the projects and looked at the funding model and said, hey, you know what? If we just put out this white paper, we could get the cheese without having to run the maze. And after we get the cheese, then maybe we'll hire some competent people to do the actual work and run the maze for us. It never works out that way. You know, I mean, best case scenario, you actually come up with a project, it's a bunch of spaghetti code, and somebody comes along and buys you out. That's like best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you end up getting investigated by the SEC and prosecuted by somebody else. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down into some music. And I'm kind of at a loss with what to throw down at first, because I got so much good stuff now. And I do plan to be increasing it even more. You know, I haven't played any 12-Foot Ninja yet, and we kind of started on this invincible, indestructible kind of business. So here it is, Invincible by 12-Foot Ninja, here on Coin Metal. And that was Metallica with Murder One. That was off of Hardwired. It's funny, I saw something about, I guess it was Kirk Hammett saying that they were right to pursue, I guess, the legal actions that they did against Napster. And I don't know. I don't think he has to worry too much about people downloading his music. I mean, not to say it wasn't a good album, but I don't know. I kind of hope for more from Metallica, and it didn't help that during the run up to its release, I'd heard that Mr. Hammett apparently lost his cell phone that had all of his recordings on it, which were all the lead parts that he had worked on for months and months and months. Apparently, the only copy of them was on his cell phone, and I don't know what to think of that. You know, I mean, the leads were okay on that song, but the album as a whole was kind of brief on leads. So, you know, I was kind of disappointed at that, but I did venture and I did buy the album anyway because, you know, I could tell from Hardwired that they were making an effort, making a real effort to make a decent album. And I wasn't disappointed on that front. Altogether, I put it definitely a notch above everything that they've done since the Black album. I don't know. There's one song on Load that I like, but I don't know. The rest of it has been varying degrees of something else. I don't know. I haven't really listened to any of like Saint Anger or Death Magnetic, so I really couldn't tell you. But I guess there wasn't a lot of acclaim about the albums, or something to that effect. Or I think I just got really, really burned with Load and Reload. I mean, literally, those are the one of the very few albums that I've ever given away was Load and Reload, because the other option was using them as skeet on a shooting range, because I was very, very, very disappointed with them. I thought that at some point or another there would be some sort of synthesis between Flotsam and Jetsam and Metallica, like from like Injustice for All era, that we get a better synthesis of like, maybe Flotsam and Jetsam Quattro, although I'm not entirely certain that Jason Newsted was even bassist on that album. I'm not entirely certain when he did leave Flotsam and Jetsam. But anyway, to that point, I never got the impression that Jason and the band really meshed properly. I was really disappointed with Injustice for All in that they had his levels really, really low. And before Injustice for All, bass was the bass was a significant feature of all of Metallica's music. I mean, if you go back to what was it, Master of Puppets, Orion, I had no idea that the last lead was in fact Cliff Burton. It might be the last or the second to last lead on Orion. That was Cliff Burton playing on a bass for like the longest time. I had no idea, and then I found that out, and I was just like, oh my god, that is such a beautiful lead played on a bass. And like I said, for that big a feature of their music to be kind of dulled down so much in Justice for All, it's very disappointing, because it's a solid album otherwise. I love that album to no end. Anyway, enough about that. I think you're wrong, Kirk, by the way. I think that So What, you were getting featured alongside bands that nobody had ever heard of. You were being heard in places that you had never heard of. So I think it's kind of a wash, I mean, you're getting greater distribution than you've ever known and that was ever possible, and you didn't even have to pay a dime for it. And big whoop-de-doo, some people did download your stuff and did not buy any albums. However, I would go so far as to suggest that what brought this to your attention was the fact that you were getting orders or requests for distributors to be carrying your music in places, again, that you have never had distribution before. You've never had a fan base before. You've never toured before. You probably never even heard of before. But because your music was openly available to everybody, those places were suddenly had that bar lowered. And you really have to remember that Napster didn't just fucking happen. Okay, there was a reason Napster happened. And I mean, it's really easy. If you go dial back the Wayback Machine, okay, you dial back to that time, and you go down to a CD store, a music store, because those still existed at the time, and you picked up any of the top 40 albums, you'd find an album with 16 songs on it, and one of them was worth a shit. The rest wouldn't have even qualified as B-sides on a 1990s album. Early 1990s, that is. That's the level of abuse that we were enduring, where the one song that got played on the radio over and over and over and over, and you saw the videos on MTV over and over, and VH1 over and over. After a while, of course, you go out and you buy the album because you were like brainwashed into liking the song, and you'd find that that was the only song that was worth a shit, and sometimes the rest of the songs on the album didn't even sound like the fucking one song that was played in your head constantly while you're in the shower. You can even fucking hear the thing going on, but that's the only decent song on the album, and you pay $20 for it. Now, the market will endure a lot of abuse. It will. But that level of abuse is too much to expect it to endure. So, you want to bitch and you want to complain about the fact that the only song on load that was really worth a shit was Until It Sleeps, and somebody bought it and found out that that was the only decent song on the album. Now, see, I could have downloaded it. I could have listened to the album and said, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to buy the single. I'm not going to buy the LP. Why? Because they're charging me $24.99 for the LP, and this is the only good song on it. Now, is that my fault that you put the song, put the one good song on the rest on the album that was not very good? No, that's not my fault. That's your fault, because you abused me as a customer. But that's my reaction to it, and I'm sorry that reaction wasn't as prevalent as it currently is. But that abuse of the market, and not just by you, but by other people in every genre of music, created that situation, created that reaction, created enough of a reaction that millions and millions and millions and millions of people said, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm going to download it first, I'm going to listen to it, I'm going to decide then whether or not I'm going to throw down the $16.99 for it. You know, I'm sorry, you created the situation. If you didn't create the situation wouldn't have existed. It's just like Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin didn't just happen. There were a series of conditions, a series of situations that happened that said, this is the appropriate response. The people have to create their own currencies, or at least have to have the capability of doing so, and deploying their own payment networks globally without the borders and without the involvement of these people that have like fucked the global economy several times and to their own benefit. You know, I mean, people can whine about regulation and all that shit, but the fact of the matter is that we've had regulation. We've had plenty of regulation. It hasn't helped anything. If anything, it's made things hurt even worse, because the regulations, they set up a series of qualifications that a company has to meet, right? And so really then, it's just a matter of putting enough lipstick on the pig to get it to pass. And once you get it in the door, it's that much harder to get rid of it, because other people start investing in it. And then it's like, oh shit, you know, there's accountability, but there's also commerce happening that wasn't happening before. So, you know, do you want to stab it now, or do you want to make a few bones off of it before you kill it? You know, and they took that bet in 2004 and 2005. They took that bet. They said, fuck it, we'll give it a try. We'll roll those dice, see what happens. And you saw what happened. By 2009, they had to throw billions and billions of dollars at it just to keep the global economy from fucking collapsing. And Bitcoin was the response. You know, again, you can point your finger at Bitcoin and you can make all kinds of threatening noises about it, but you created the situation. It's just a response. And at this point, it's kind of a response that's not going to go away. But things are changing to some extent, and this next article here on the Merkle.com, this by Zane Huffman, so I'm assuming yes, penis. This is authored May 16th, 2018. Forget Bitcoin. These altcoins are leading the way in merchant adoption. Since its inception, one of the major goals of cryptocurrency communities have been the adoption of Bitcoin as a payment method for goods and services. As it stands now, consumers can use Bitcoin across a number of industries to purchase anything, from real estate to PCs to pizza. However, Bitcoin's high transaction cost, deflationary nature, and full transparency represent some of these shortcomings that prevent Bitcoin from seeing widespread merchant adoption. As such, enthusiasts, consumers, and producers alike have gotten behind a number of altcoins as mediums of exchange for a variety of uses. While Bitcoin acted as the catalyst for the first wave of crypto merchant integration, these emerging altcoins are the pioneers for the interactions between the consumers and merchants of tomorrow. Privacy coins. One cryptocurrency niche seeing steady and increasing consumer activity is privacy coins. There exist a number of situations where anonymous transactions are optimal for the consumer or producer. The obvious example is the use of Monero, XMR, to power darknet markets, allowing buyers and sellers to agree upon the sale of drugs and other illicit goods in a completely anonymous, untraceable manner. However, black market sales do not wholly represent usage of privacy coins. Consumers have also flocked to privacy coins for usage in the adult industry. Monero has seen integration on sites selling sex toys. A number of privacy coins have also been integrated across various porn sites. With privacy coins, there is no paper trail, alleviating the risk of embarrassing or scandalous credit card statements being viewed by other parties. The nature of cryptocurrency also ensures that payments to any merchant will not jeopardize the information or payment details of the consumer. Of course, the recent Verge partnership represents the most prominent instance of adoption of privacy coins in the adult industry. Last month, Verge XVG unveiled a partnership with porn giant Pornhub, which will allow payments to the site to be made via Verge. Although much controversy has ensued, this partnership pins Verge as a pioneer for privacy coin adoption. Other instances. Outside of privacy coins, a number of other altcoins have also begun to see meaningful integrations. Omisgo, OMG, a platform seeking to empower the unbanked and create an inclusive, massively scalable financial ecosystem, earned the spotlight when OMG was integrated by McDonald's Thailand. Wow, that's something that we've not even heard about. As Omisgo continues to expand its network, it's predicted that other large corporations will integrate the cryptocurrency down the road. Beloved meme coin Dogecoin has also seen significant adoption, as the lighthearted and far-reaching community drove the joke coin to a powerhouse with a market cap of over $500 million. Community members and converted fans have driven Doge to be picked up by numerous merchants worldwide. One example that encapsulates the spirit of Doge is this site for trendy pet accessories. And we're not going to click on that. One upcoming project with a lot of potential is Flogmall. Flogmall seeks to become a one-stop online shopping destination that accepts all cryptocurrencies. Of course, this will include Kik, the native token of the platform that's responsible for crowdfunding the Flogmall project, Kik ICO. Of course, the ever-increasing popularity and information surrounding cryptocurrency, it's only logical that merchants and consumers worldwide will continue to make new transactions and relationships through cryptocurrency. The future of cryptocurrency consumer settings is wildly exciting. Yeah. I think that I think they are absolutely correct on this article, and this is Zane Huffman. Yes, good job, and I wholeheartedly agree, good sir, that Omizgo or whoever else, and we're definitely going to review this one, even though, dude, this was back in September. Holy shit. We're definitely going to cover it, though. Anyway, yeah, I see that several other altcoins, several altcoins, I should say, not other altcoins. Several altcoin projects are more than capable of being used as mediums of exchange right now. I was just at the DMV today, and I told the clerk, because I'm like observing the activity going on, between me and them, and like how much of it could be replaced with cryptocurrencies. And I'm not talking about blockchain. I mean currencies that you and I mine. See, I think that cryptocurrency mining could be much like the roads of yesteryear, that before we had government buying the services of others to get the roads made and tended, that private individuals saw the benefit of having roads and constructed them themselves to facilitate more commerce. I think that mining could be that for the future, that you could dedicate your hash power to projects based on your focus, so like me, if there were a DMV coin, I would mine it and replace that fucking office. I mean, because everything that I did today could have been done in a cryptocurrency transaction. All the records could be associated with it with some sort of taint mechanism, and that's that. On a standard Bitcoin transaction. No fucking third party intermediary in there. No bullshit service provider. You just teach them how to use like Verge currency, okay? You could use Verge at the DMV and eliminate like all of the fucking paperwork. Right? You scan the person's QR code that's associated with their fucking license in your records, right? And that brings up their current registration, all the vehicles that they've got registered. Oh, which one do you want to fix today, Mr. Dashwood? Oh, you want to do this one? Okay, click that one. Scan the registration document that I have. Scan the QR code from my wallet. Maybe not even go that far. Maybe from my device, okay, my computer at home. I go to the website for the DMV and just scan their fucking QR code, type in the amount that I have to pay to resolve my debt with them for renewing my registration, click send. 30 seconds later, they get their first confirmation. It's done and done. Shit, I could do that with a cop. Cop pulls me over and says, "Oh, dude, your registration is expired." Oh, fuck, man. I got the money to do that right now. Could we just take care of it right now? Cop says, "Sure." Shows you the device, QR code. Scan the QR code. Type in the amount. Click send. 30 seconds later, you're registered. Now you're compliant with the law. No reason to ticket you now. I mean, really. It appalls me to be going to the fucking DMV and literally getting in queue. I mean, I think this is like some social experiment gone awry. That it's like, dude, we could do all this shit online, but we're going to make them go to a physical office anyway. I mean, you could have a physical office put maybe 30 people in it and cover the DMV services for the entire fucking state of Oregon. But no. We have to provide offices for state employees to occupy and state employee unions to negotiate for. Give me a fucking break. Let's add 8 layers of obfuscation and friction in there so we can nick as much fucking money out of people as possible. Give me a fucking break, man. We're just not going to be able to sustain this kind of waste. I mean, when I look at that office, I see waste, fraud, and abuse all over it. Because I know and you know, every bit of technology required to replace that building is available right now. Right fucking now. Could be supplying those DMV services from the comfort of their own homes as securely as they ever could at the DMV right now. But no, we gotta maintain the facade that this is all necessary, man. It's necessary. You gotta have this. You shrink that office down to just assigning new driver's licenses and selling plates. And even that you can do. You could probably facilitate to happen online. Probably can do it through the DMV website. The idea that I actually went there is kind of silly. But again, we could do all that shit with cryptocurrencies. All the technology available to replace that, it exists right now. To me, it's a lot like driving through a museum all fucking day long. I get to touch all the artifacts. This is how we did it in the 1970s. This is how we still do it today. Just to show you how we did it. And this is life in the 1970s. This is what it was like. Anyway, I got this article here, and this is kind of a show that here in the United States we might be a little bit slow to adopt new technologies and take advantage of them and leverage them to our advantages. But they're not so slow elsewhere. And so here we go. And this is on omise.co. Omise partners with McDonald's Thailand to provide seamless payment experience for online and mobile orders. Online mobile payment technology provider Omise announced today that it has been chosen by McDonald's Thailand to be its exclusive payments gateway for its website, mcdonalds.co.th, and the McDelivery Thailand mobile app. Wow. Well, with consumers' growing embrace of online and especially mobile technologies, purchases through digital channels have rapidly increased. The online and mobile transaction has been growing strongly over the past 2 years. To continue delivering seamless experiences for the growing number of online customers, McDonald's required a state-of-the-art digital payments platform that could support the company's present growth and future ambitions. We continue to raise the bar for our customers with convenience for web and mobile ordering as Omise consolidates the payment by all card issuers with ease, said Hester Chu, chairman of Executive Committee and Chief Executive of McTieco.ltd. With Omise, McDonald's Thailand has revamped the checkout journey for their customers, making the process simple, speedy, and convenient. Transactions through card payments are now white-labeled, meaning that the entire order and purchase experience is kept on-site or in-app. Consumers no longer have to go through the unnecessary page redirections, which considerably reduces the time and hassle for online payment. In addition, Omise also provides McDonald's Thailand the latest PCI compliance regulations through its PCI DSS certified payment services. This means that the customer-sensitive card data is kept secure whilst routing transactions through Omise, allowing frequent buyers to save their card details for their next purchases. The consumer's experience begins right when they place the order online, and payments is a critical component of that experience. Offering highly secure, seamless payment options across all platforms and devices is key to delivering a seamless experience for McDonald's customers, said Jun Hasegawa, CEO and founder of Omise. Omise's platform provides a smoother consumer journey because of its seamless checkout process, which increases conversion rates for businesses. Upon integrating our upcoming Omisco Payments network, additional forms of payments will be available to be included in the checkout experience, benefiting both customers and merchants alike. Yeah. That's pretty interesting to see a transition like this for a company as big as McDonald's. I'm sure they're just doing it as a kind of an incubator kind of test thing. And that's cool, you know, having the balls to step out like that and try and take advantage and leverage this technology to their advantage. Hey, do it. Do it. That's what it's there for. Yeah. And it is, but then I'm going to throw down into some additional music. And I got this fucking Black Hoodie playing in the background. I'm digging it. Digging it. But I want to play some more off of this Killing Joke that I just got. And, yeah. Seeing Red here on Coin Metal. And that was Prong with Bad Fall. So, I do have something really interesting I wanted to talk about on this show. And, I'm not sure. Oh, you sons of bitches. It was Inside Bitcoins. They did it to me again. Where they had something that I wanted to see. Or at least, I thought they did. But they didn't. Anyway, I managed to track it down very, very quickly. And so, here it is. HoweyCoin. SEC trolls crypto fraudsters with fake ICO campaign. And this again is on ccn.com. Here we go. In a landmark embrace of technological innovation, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has announced that it will issue its own cryptocurrency, HoweyCoin, through an initial coin offering ICO. Okay, that's not actually true, but the agency has constructed a clever campaign intended to teach investors how to identify ICO scams and troll the fraudsters who continue to operate them. The SEC unveiled HoweyCoin in a statement filed. The SEC has an opportunity you won't want to miss out. You won't want to miss. Act now. And the token sale documents promise that the coin will leverage blockchain technology to revolutionize the travel industry. Oh my God, it's got an 8-page white paper. HoweyCoins will spearhead this digital revolution into the travel industry by passing along the savings of cryptocurrencies to you. Because of its finite supply and dedicated use in the travel industry, it will be the coin of the realm for travel. These savings will be passed on to you, and the earlier you get in on the HoweyCoin ICO, the greater the discounts are going to be. The website reveals that HoweyCoin is currently in the middle of its ICO pre-sale, giving investors just a little more than 2 weeks to purchase their tokens at a 15% discount. The token sale documents further assure investors that they will reap significant returns on their tokens as great as 2% per day, with a minimum growth rate comparable to those high-performing mutual funds. HODL. We forecast a minimum growth rate of between 7 and 15% annualized, making HoweyCoins attractive for long-term investment. In addition, HoweyCoins can serve as guaranteed hedge against inflation and market loss. HoweyCoin even has endorsements from athletes, social media influencers, and other celebrities who are obviously the top authorities on the quality of the underlying technology. However, the fun ends once prospective investors click the Buy Coins Now link, which instead directs them to an SEC investor education website that provides information on how to identify and avoid common ICO scams. Quote, the SEC was able to build the HoweyCoin website in-house in very little time, the agency said in a statement, which demonstrates just how easy it is for someone to create a scam opportunity. And to the SEC, I would just like to say, it's also just as easy for someone to create a legitimate opportunity. I think that's the point that the SEC kind of misses on this, that the bar for entry has been lowered that far. That yes, scammers can proliferate scams ad nauseum all day long, but that's not the point. The point is that people with legitimate projects, solid ideas and concepts and tech and code have every intention of delivering on every single one of the promises they make are just as easy. So, you gotta look at both sides of that coin. It's not just an open gate for all the scammers to get into, but we are going to entertain as much as we possibly can of the HoweyCoin's white paper. Apparently it's about 9 pages long, and yeah, we're going to go for it. I think I got enough time to digest 9 pages. Usually white papers are pretty big font, so here we go. Abstract for HoweyCoins. And that's what I'm going to do on here. Hold on one second here. There we go. Abstract. The internet is a global network connecting individuals and entities around the world. In the 30 years since widespread use, the internet has broken down barriers and distances in terms of information and commerce. In terms of information, where you were once confined to your local newspaper, your local broadcast news, and your local library, you can now find information from every corner of the world. In terms of commerce, transaction costs have come down where, for example, once all your shopping was done locally, you can now buy from a number of online websites advertising products from all over the world at incredible discounts to physical stores. However, one area that has not reaped all the efficiency gains and reduced costs from the internet is the travel industry. Yes, you can find hotel rooms and airfares more easily than before with the proliferation of comparison travel websites, but the travel industry is still underpinned by a legacy cost structure that supports itself at your expense. From currency translation fees, credit card fees, service surcharges, to the inherent costs of fiat money, the travel industry is rife with transaction inefficiencies that end up costing you money. Travel is expensive, but we are at the cusp of a revolution that will democratize travel and leisure for everyone. The internet was the first part of the revolution. The other part is blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. This white paper will detail how the introduction and adoption of HoweyCoins as a universal medium of exchange for travel will drive down costs in travel by: number one, capturing the value and inherent efficiencies of cryptocurrencies compared to the current fiat money structure that was created more in service of central governments and the banks that control the international finance system. 2. Eliminating the extra fees and expenses that underpin the currency legacy cost structure in travel. And number 3, creating synergies between travel service providers, the airlines, hotels, and restaurants, and forecast returns on HoweyCoin valuations to drive initial discounts in the 30 to 40% range, and the discounts will exponentially increase as the adoption and usage rate of HoweyCoins increase over time. Getting in on the initial coin offering ICO for HoweyCoins is the only way to guarantee these massive cost savings. If you buy HoweyCoins later, the discounts will get smaller as: number 1, more travel service providers and travelers adopt HoweyCoins as a medium of exchange, while number 2, the finite amount of HoweyCoin limits supply in the face of an ever-increasing demand by travel service providers and travelers, and number 3, the travel industry experiences exponential growth in the number of and spending by tourists because of a growing worldwide middle class, including in China and India. Cryptocurrencies change the monetary world. The world is in the midst of a digital payments revolution that will cause greater disruption than that caused by the internet over the last 30 years. Cryptocurrencies and other blockchain-driven digital tokens like HoweyCoins will piggyback on the ubiquitous communications of the internet to transform how we pay for goods and services. Instead of currencies controlled by national governments, different types of cryptocurrencies and digital tokens associated with the types of services or goods you are looking to purchase will bridge the efficiency of the digital world with the traditional friction of a physical economy. HoweyCoins will be the cryptocurrency standard for the travel industry. By undercutting the monopoly role of the national governments in creating currency, savings that you may not realize are being kept by the elite, and the government will flow to you, the consumer. cryptocurrencies will democratize money. They kind of already have. The current system is underpinned by a national government and a central bank legally requiring your use of legal tender to pay for goods and services. Not entirely true. However, with the advent of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies over the last few years, fiat money is no longer the universal medium of exchange for services and goods. Fiat money is the US dollar, the British pound, and any other currency created and declared by a central government as legal tender. Fiat money is highly controlled by the state, and between how much is printed to the various fees and interest rates charged by the banks that control each step of the dissemination process, the government and the banks capture the vast majority of the value with the creation of fiat money. You are left with a small piece of the money pie. Take the financial system in the United States as an example. When the U.S. Treasury prints a new dollar, it only costs the government fractions of a penny to actually make a dollar bill or even a $20 U.S. bill. But when the U.S. Treasury then transfers that $1 bill to the Federal Reserve, who statutorily controls the money supply, it books it at $1 U.S. dollar. This is known as seigniorage, and the U.S. government gets almost a whole U.S. dollar in profit for a piece of paper, the U.S. $1 bill. Now that the U.S. $1 bill is at the Federal Reserve, it charges a discount rate to banks who want to borrow that U.S. dollar to get it out into the greater economy. The banks will then use that $1 and loan it out to private individuals and companies, charging interest at the prime rate or higher depending on the credit worthiness of the borrower. This can range from the current prime rate of 4.5% to the 20% plus charged if you're using a credit card. At every step, the U.S. government, the central banks, and the private banks all get a profit off of just getting a U.S. dollar bill into the private economy. When that U.S. dollar bill gets to us, the private individuals and companies, we end up bearing all the cost for the dissemination of that U.S. dollar. All other fiat currencies in other countries get disseminated similarly to this example for the U.S. dollar. These costs continually increase as the national governments continue printing money, leading to inflation. It's actually the other way around, that the Federal Reserve is the one continuing to print money, leading to inflation. Inflation is a defect of this system and is solely borne by us. Cryptocurrencies and the initial coin offerings that are upending this monetary system and democratizing money for you and me. All the costs of fiat money and the associated inflation of prices will no longer underscore the price of everything we pay for. Instead, cryptocurrencies will stop inflation by being based only on a finite supply. There will be no cost to you and hidden profits to banks and governments. Blockchain is the key driver of cryptocurrencies. Not true at all. Actually, the key driver of cryptocurrencies is you. The blockchain is the result of your work. This technology leverages the internet as a registry for all cryptocurrencies, thereby undermining the central control that governments and banks have over the monetary system. Again, that's not entirely true, because the quote-unquote blockchain is held by you, the miner or the node operator or the wallet owner that needs a full copy of the blockchain, which I don't think any of them do anymore. Anyway, yeah, you're it, not anybody else. HoweyCoins will spearhead this digital revolution into the travel industry by passing along the savings of cryptocurrencies to you. Because of its finite supply and dedicated use in the travel industry, it will be the coin of the realm for travel. These savings will be passed on to you, and the earlier you get in on the HoweyCoins ICO, the greater the discounts are going to be. Woohoo! HoweyCoins to deliver unsurpassed travel savings. And where are we at? Okay, where are we at? We're on page 5 of this thing, and we are, you know what, I'm going to cover as much of this page as I can. We're going to cut it off for HoweyCoins. We have entered into a number of and close to finalizing negotiations on just a few remaining exclusive HoweyCoin partner agreements with a number of large, well-known travel service providers, international hotel and resort brands, airlines, travel industry-related comparison websites, car rental companies, and on-demand online car services, large chain restaurants located in travel hotspots, and travel activity providers such as tour companies and equipment rentals, ergo, diving, bicycle, kayaks, etc., among others. These negotiations and agreements are all currently subject to non-disclosure agreements in order for us to maintain our bargaining position with our negotiating partners and to prime a large media campaign upon a successful ICO. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and break it off there. A lot of the claims that are made in this quote unquote ICO, they give you some truth that you weren't necessarily privy to before. That being the process by which U.S. dollars are brought into the greater economy. It's not actually put that starkly and plainly in many other places that we read about it. And so thank you very much for that, SEC. It was an interesting romp. But they do get some stuff right. And you do have to give them credit for that. That the indications that we're seeing just on this last paragraph that we read here, this exemplifies the types of claims that you will read in ICO prospectuses and white papers and whatnot that are key indicators that they are fraudsters, or at least that they haven't meted out this particular segment of shit yet. You know, they haven't hammered down any real partnerships yet, but these are the places that they're going to be looking for partners in, you know. And like I said, it does exemplify a lot of the types of claims and materials that you will see in association with white papers, and you know, a lot of the material that are against quote unquote fiat currencies. That's based on a lot of the claims that are actually made by projects that are out there right now. And some of them are actually true. Much to the chagrin of the SEC and other such organizations, I'm sure. Anyway, it is with that I'd like to close down this episode. And we will be back again on Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So until then, I'd like y'all to trade safe. Do your homework. And watch out for your own bunghole, because nobody else is going to do it for you. Thank you very, very much for listening. I certainly appreciate the support. You can find me on Twitter and also in the Telegram chat room for Verge Currency. So until Friday, I want y'all to have an excellent evening. And as far as our last dance, it's going to be a nice quick one here. Golden Cufflinks by Sixth. Here on Coin Metal, Last Dance. Thank you again for listening, and y'all have an excellent evening.